What's happening, everybody? This is Jim from JCRC. What's up? Was doing a little wrenching on the truck today. Ordered some wheel spacers from RC 4-wheel drive, a set of 3mm offsets and a set of 6mm offsets. I installed the 6mm offsets. These are the 3mm ones right here. And here is the stock one right here, which is about 1mm. This is probably about 2mm, I think, or 1.5 or something like that. It's about 1mm short of being equal with these 3mm ones. Putting these wheel spacers on here did two things. They widened up my stance just a pinch, and they also got my tires away from my leaf springs a little bit, so they're no longer rubbing when I'm turning. I think it might have also, three things I guess. I think it also improved my articulation a little bit because it brought my wheels outside a little bit farther, meaning that it can, tilt a little bit farther. Well, I don't know if it necessarily tilts a little bit farther, but I guess it gives it a little bit more reach. So there it is, sitting on 4 stock Trail Finder tires, and the rest of the tires are all sitting on the ground, and it still has a little bit more room here to go on the suspension. It's not completely collapsed yet. There's still like a 1/16 of an inch or whatever to go before it's fully collapsed, but once again, stiff springs on there. I also bought, at the same time, some new tow hooks. This one isn't a monster tow hook. I can't remember who makes this. I know it's a limited edition hook, but it's definitely one of the, it might be made by Kong, actually. This might be a Kong hook. It's supposed to be able to pull like 100 pounds or something like that, or 120 pounds or something like that before it breaks. And this is a monster hook. This is one like I lost on the river the other day when I was out there. Has a, oops, it's got the little latch on the hook or whatever. And here's another one of the Kong hooks up here, because I ordered 2 of these Kong hooks, the red ones, hooked up to my winch anchor, just to get rid of my janky little carabiner clevis that was on there. Alright, so I just took the wheel off. You can see that big wheel spacer sitting on the back there. That is the 6mm spacer. They also make a 9mm spacer as well. I figured the 6mm was going to be plenty. With the 9mm spacer, it probably would have brought my tires completely outside of my wheel wells, which would have looked a little bit goofy. Alright, now there the tires bolted back on. You can obviously see that the stance is a little bit wider than what it was before. I'd say roughly 12mm altogether, including 6mm on each side. It's not too extreme. You can see that the center of the tire with this little where the little groove is running up the middle is just about even with this outer edge of the wheel well. Try to get it lined up here on the camera, as you can see, line up on the back tire with the front tire and all that bullshit up here, even with the wheel well. So hopefully that'll improve, keep it from rolling over so much, because it was the last couple of videos that I did, it was kind of rollover prone. The tires were obviously sitting inside 6mm farther to the inside of the truck, and it was pretty narrow. And with my since it's sitting up so tall, sitting up so high, with the narrow wheelbase or whatever, or width, it was just rollover happy. So hopefully with this new stance, it won't be so rollover prone. And there's a little side view of it. But that's it, guys. Just a real quick video on the Trail Finder today. Like I said, haven't done any videos recently just because I was waiting on these wheel spacers, and like I said, was rolling the truck over left and right the last few times I was shooting videos with it. And plus the tires were rubbing on the leaf springs, and they're not doing that anymore. So hopefully that's all cleared up. And that is what she's looking like. And there's a shot from the back, sitting on the 4 stock tires. And once again, the rest of the tires are all sitting down on the ground, full contact all the way around. And this one isn't even fully compressed yet. Once again, you can see there's still like a 1/16 of an inch to go before it hits full compression on the articulation, which is, get my hand up in here, right up in there, would be full compression. And that's another thing too that I wanted to mention. If anybody gets a spring kit for these shocks, which I got a spring kit for these shocks. I have 100mm shocks on all 4 corners currently. The different springs, and when you put the stiffer springs in here, it reduces your travel. Your shock will not be able to bottom out all the way. Like where this one's sitting right here, if you put the stiffest springs in there, the two of the stiffer springs, if you put those in here, that's like as far as your shock will travel right there. It won't go any farther than that, just because the spring, when it's fully compressed, it just can't go any farther because it's obviously like a longer spring. I've got some relatively soft springs in there, which allow it to go just a little bit further before it bottoms out. And that's just something to keep in mind. But once again, there's a back view of it all arced out. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, just put the wheel spacers on there. Got some tow hooks for it, some new tow hooks for it, which are laying around right here. These are just spares. Since I'm prone to losing them, I figured I better get a couple spares. And that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Click like and subscribe if you like what you've seen. I'll get this baby out on the trail here soon and shoot some videos with it. Thanks again. Y'all have a great night.